What's going on, everyone? Tim from Tirafon Orbital. I would like to go over an install commission that I completed a couple of days ago for a KY Lightsabers SK. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. I've done a couple of Hilts, a number of Hilts, from Kevin over at KY Lightsabers. So it's been a little while since I've had an SK of his come across my desk. So I thought it was high time to upgrade the chassis that I have designed for this hilt. So previously I've just used, the first chassis that I designed, and I figured why not? It's time for an upgrade. So we're going to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis a little bit, and then of course we will come up top, take a look at the hilt, and do a quick demo and be on our way, right? So let's come into Fusion and take a look at this guy. So here's the chassis that I designed for this hilt. Pretty greebly heavy along both sides. I wanted to get accent strips or accent pixels all over this guy, right? So I've got two vents on each side of the chassis that serve as windows for some 2020 Neopixel strips. On top of those Neopixel strips, I have cut a strip of mylar to help with light diffusion. So I wire up those Neopixels, slide them up these channels, and then I've got plenty of room for wire management to come up to the board, right? So we've got a lot of conductors coming up top. We've got two for our kill switch, which sits in here. We've got two for our speaker. We've got one negative, and then we have three leads for the Neopixels. I just spliced these two together down in the pommel, and then we bring three conductors up, right? So they come up through those channels up to this section to get a connection to the board, okay? Proffie board, this is a Proffie V3. Proffie board does sit in this tray and slides up underneath this lip. And that's it, right? We've got a 28mm speaker at the bottom here. This is from Smugglers Outpost. Plenty of room in this hilt for, a lot of design work on the chassis as well as a 28mm speaker. Fully enclosed. Up top here, this nipple is where the chassis marries into the upper part of the hilt. It is secured with a set screw, and that's it. Battery tray is here, and that's all we got. Nice and simple. I like the size of the form factor of this chassis as well. There's a perfect amount of space in this hilt to get like a nice, short, stacked chassis, right? So let's come up top, take a look at this hilt. Here is the SK from KY Lightsabers. I have unscrewed the set screw for the grip on this already, right? But this is not a threaded grip. This is a set screw grip. And that's it, right? So we've got our exposed crystal chamber here. I did make some modifications to this hilt. I have some brass baffling or some brass mesh behind the crystal chamber. This helps to hide some of the leads that are coming up to the switches and the PCB emitter. I've got my leads in some black shrink tubing as well, just to kind of camouflage it a little bit, but they are also behind that brass panel. We have a glass eye from the Graflex Shop up here. Let me get it in frame. We have a glass eye from the Graflex Shop up here. I have retrofitted this into the hilt, so I tapped a hole. I drilled a hole for the glass eye, and then I tapped it. So this will unthread, and that's threaded in place. Underneath that glass eye, I also have some brass mesh, right? Gives a really cool effect with some of that shine through. Okay, PCB emitter, this is from CCsabers. So to get at your chassis, right, so this is a set screw grip. You want to unscrew. There's like a large hex set screw that holds the grip in place. Here is our Proffie board. Battery tray is around front, and speaker is at the bottom. So I did my usual pass of pewter and onyx rub and buff on this guy, and I really, really like the way that it came out. So here are our vents as well. All right, so to use it, spring side is your negative. You want to take the flat part of your battery, rest it in that battery tray, hit your kill switch. So I've set these two accents up as sub blades, okay? So the top and bottom pixel are their own blade, and then the middle animation is its own blade. So this hilt has 4 1, 2, 3, 4, has 5 blades, right? Main blade, crystal chamber, and then 3 sub blades for the accents. Each font has got a different animation on those accents.
What is it? Father's Lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Right. Okay. So I wanted to get a bunch of of accents on this chassis. So to put your grip on, let me get the set screw. Put your grip on. You want to line up the hole in the grip with the hole on the main body of the chassis. There we go. And then tighten that set screw. I'm just going to do a hand tighten on this for the demo. And there you go. Let's come down to the bottom. There is that glass eye. We've got shine through in that Graflex Shop glass eye. I did put a blade plug in this for the glams. So let's take that out and put a blade in it. This is a 1-inch blade holder in this hilt. So you want to take your blade and just kind of rest it on those PCB pins. There is a black set screw above the glass eye that serves as your blade retention. So just tighten that down. Let me tighten that grip up a little bit more, and then you're ready to go.
Right? Don't talk back to your elders, child.
So, switch-wise, right? Man, this ceiling fan, I should take this thing out of here. So the top toggle switch, or the top tactile switch, is your main. The bottom is your aux. This has also been set up with color wheel on all of the fonts. So you want to hold down main and tap aux. Sorry, you want to hold down aux and tap main to get to color wheel. When you find a color you like, tap main again, and it'll lock that in. Let's go through the whole config, shall we?
And that team is ready. Third sister. Lord Vader. General Kenobi. Ancient. What is it? Don't talk back to you.
The majority of the fonts that are on here are all the stock fonts that are offered from the Proffie website. There's also a couple of free grayscale fonts on here. One more.
The NASA team is ready for launch.
All right. That's it. So that's all I've got. That is the KY Lightsabers SK. It's been a little while, like I said, since I've had this hilt come across my desk, so I wanted to give the chassis a little bit of an upgrade. It is a great hilt. It's a super easy hilt to install, honestly. The only thing that's different about this particular SK and some of the other ones that have come across my desk, like the Corbanth, is getting the wires up past that crystal chamber can prove a little bit tricky because we don't have anywhere to hide them, right? So with the Corbanth, you can come up behind the crystal chamber and go through the control box. So that's fine. I just camouflage some of those wires with some shrink wrap or some shrink tubing and that brass mesh, right? So to the client, thank you very much for trusting me with your install. To the viewers, everyone, thank you very much for watching. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.